Да, можешь садиться.
I guess there's been some injuries, some visa issues, some challenges, but finally it's time for the debut. I guess wonder what the feeling is like right now.
Он говорит, что у тебя типа была проблема с визами, у тебя были травмы, некоторые ситуации, почему ты не мог именно выходить раньше на бой. Какое вообще чувство сейчас, что, ну слава богу, как бы получилось, что сейчас ты на UFC бой будешь выходить?
Всем добрый день. Hi guys. Для меня это большая честь драться в такой организации, в лучшем промоушене мировом. И дорога к этому поединку была очень тяжелой и большой. Особенно это было связано с визами и с Всемирной антидопинговой организацией USADA. Потому что я не знал, что настолько все очень серьезно, да, и я ждал этот бой 10 месяцев, просто выйти, чтобы подраться. У меня 2 раза уже бой отменяли. Первый раз из-за визы, потом из-за USADA. И вот наконец-то я прошел этот тяжелый путь и оказался здесь.
Yeah, so first off, hello to everyone. This is a big honor to compete in the biggest organization in the world, UFC. Of course, it's been a long road to get here. And just for this fight specifically, I was waiting 10 months to finally get it, just waiting, you know. About 3 canceled bouts, but we just stayed focused. There was a big thing also with USADA and a few things. I also underestimated a bit how serious UFC is and how many things and obligations you have to do to be able to come out to the fight. But we waited it all, and you know we're here, ready to go.
It's a difficult time for any Ukrainian athlete right now. Has it been difficult to maintain focus? I know you've got to keep moving forward, but has it been challenging to try to stay focused on yourself?
Типа как бы украинским бойцом быть и атлетом с Украины. Сейчас вот это то, что происходит, естественно, все понимают, что это тяжелое время, но именно как бы твои эмоции и чувства, это тебя как бы заряжает или ну, как для тебя вот это время сейчас?
Когда случился такой траур у нас в стране, у меня были мысли вернуться на родину, так как все мои друзья, все бойцы это сделали, потому что так каждый бы поступил в такой ситуации. Но мои близкие люди, моя семья мне посоветовали все-таки драться, так как у меня есть возможность больше проявить себя, больше помочь своей семье и своей родине. Конечно же, я выбрал все-таки спорт и этот бой, так как пользы больше будет от этого.
Yeah, of course, it's a very tough time, and a lot of athletes and people ended up going back to the country to go to war, you know, and protect the country. But a lot of his friends just suggested that it's much better and easier for him to pursue this path, especially that I have an opportunity to be able to do that, and I can show my country in a better way. So maybe this is the smartest option for me to stay as an athlete and go represent Ukraine on the world stage.
I know those are more serious matters, but we'll talk about sport. Alonzo, as an opponent, what do you make of him as an opponent?
Твой соперник Алонзо, что ты вообще вот думаешь, как ты его воспринимаешь?
Честно говоря, не сильно люблю за соперников что-то рассказывать или о них, их обсуждать. От себя могу сказать, что, как я вижу, что он хороший парень, ведет себя достойно в поединках. У меня не вызывает никаких неуважений, отвращений к нему, да, то есть я к нему отношусь хорошо.
Yeah, so basically I'm not a big fan of speaking about the fighters before the fight especially, but all I know about him, he's a respectful guy, he's a game opponent, you know, I'm not underestimating him at all, but for me personally, I'm just more focused on myself and prepared to fight him, but in terms of him, I think he's a great guy.
As you look at your own future, is light heavyweight the division for you? You've kind of bounced around. Do you feel like you'll be a light heavyweight in the UFC or fight in other divisions as well?
Он думает, что, ну, спрашивает насчет веса. Ты думаешь, ты останешься драться в 94 или ты, может быть, поменяешь свою весовую категорию?
Вы знаете, я начал свою карьеру вообще с разного веса. Я дрался и в welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, heavyweight. Моя карьера очень непростая, и дорога к ней была очень тяжелой. Просто я начал набирать массу немного поздно, после 23 лет. И мне комфортно драться в light heavyweight, но я могу сделать 84, 185.
Well, basically, my career has been a very interesting one. I fought in welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, heavyweight. For me, it didn't really matter. That's why it was a very long road being here, just moving around with weight. For me personally, I believe that this light heavyweight division is the one for me, but if I need to, I would probably fight middleweight as well.
Talking about bouncing around, can we ask about your record? It's been in the news this week that your wins and losses have changed and your record. Do you have any comment on all that situation and kind of what you've seen play out?
А насчет твоего рекорда, то, что у тебя было 25,7, и сейчас вот они поменяли, там 4 победы, там 4 поражения. Что вообще вот насчет этого?
Да, это случилось вчера утром, как многие узнали, что у меня будет бой в UFC, начали рыскаться в моей карьере, что-то искать. Дело в том, что я сменил имя и фамилию, у меня очень много боев было в Китае, которые не добавляли в рекорд, и мне приходилось с трудом каждый бой добавлять себе в карьеру, потому что мне нужны были эти цифры. Вот. Но некоторые люди меня очень сильно подвели, так как сами испортили ситуацию с этими рекордами, и в одном сайте был такой рекорд, в другом сайте был другой. Потом они запутали этих админов и смешали некоторые любительские поражения с профессиональными. То есть, когда мне было 18 лет, я вообще не выступал по ММА, просто была одна организация, в которой, скажем, я начинал только этот путь, и там я не умел бороться, и там делали сабмишины некоторые. Вот. Но 7 лет, 8 лет никто этого не знал, не помнил ничего, потому что я поменял себе имя и фамилию, так как у меня новый отец. И просто какой-то из админов специально взял и добавил мне это, видимо, хотел выделиться справедливым сильно.
Yeah, so basically I spent so much time since the age of 18 fighting professional fights and fighting pretty much anyone that I could. I don't build my record or whatever, but a lot of the fights that I had were in China, and the organizations, they don't add fights after, so you have to really pursue it to make sure that they add the fights that you have, so they make sure that you have it on record. But this is actually a situation that for the last 7-8 years, no one mentioned anything, no one said anything. Now when I get up to the biggest promotion, I'm in the UFC, I guess someone or one of the admins wants to prove himself or show himself. It's a little bit weird, right? But aside from that, it's just some situations that I had basically when I was starting this career. I wasn't even fighting MMA, and I took some semi-pro fights, and I didn't know that they were going to be counted towards the record, and that was under my name before. Now when I had a stepfather, changed my first name, changed my last name, so there was a little bit of a mix-up with that, but I just focused on the fight and not thinking about these records. They don't really mean much.
Last thing for me, talk to me about what the goal is here in the debut. I mean, is it just to get in and get a win, get comfortable? I mean, do you want to come in and make some kind of immediate statement that you're a contender? I know you're a bit of a showman. I mean, what's the goal here to get done?
Вот вообще на бой у тебя какой настрой? Вот ты хочешь человека вырубить, ты хочешь показать зрелищный бой. Вот ты как заряжаешься вообще на первый бой в UFC? Что от тебя ожидать?
Я бы хотел показать красивый бой. Для меня, конечно же, всегда было это в приоритете, чтобы публике нравился бой, чтобы Дэйна Уайт был довольный. И я не кровожадный человек. Конечно, все по ситуации происходит. И любой может вырубить, да, там, или упасть. Но мне бы хотелось показать красивый бой, чтобы людям понравилось, публике, аудитории всей.
Yeah, of course, it's a fight. Anything can happen. I can knock him out. He can knock me out. But for me, personally, I like to show a great fight. Fight of the night. I want to show I want the boss man, Dana White, to be happy. This is first off. If the people think it's an entertaining fight, then I'm already doing my job quite well. But I'm not this harsh guy saying I want to do this and that. But in the fight, anything can happen. And yeah, we'll just wait and see on Saturday.
Were the tattoos inspired by Conor McGregor? Were they kind of like, were they inspired by him?
No, this is not tattoo Conor McGregor. Everybody tell me this. Guys, this is same style, old school, but this is another picture. Окей.
Типа спрашивает, если ты когда увидел Конора, ты после этого хотел себе сделать какую-то татуировку?
Yeah, you know, actually, in my country, people know me like Ukrainian Conor McGregor, but this different tattoo, you know. I like Conor, but I am Askar.
This dude didn't even need to be here. You speak English.
I told him, I was like, don't speak. I told him, don't speak. Just make sure that everything is perfect, you know. He's working on his English, but just to make sure everything's spot on, you know. Sometimes you don't want to say the wrong thing here, especially.
Had a good Memorial Day.
Well, I guess first off, just give us the feel ahead of the UFC debut. What's the emotions like for you right now?
Lucas, só para iniciar, fala pra gente a tua sensação de estar numa estreia de UFC, o que você está sentindo?
Tô muito feliz, pô, meu sonho era, no começo era sonho, depois virou objetivo entrar no UFC e agora tô aí, maior evento do mundo, espero dar um show sábado aí, que eu vou fazer, para isso que eu vim, pra dar show.
Very happy. It was a dream, and that dream became a goal. And here I am in the biggest event, fight event in the world, and came to put on a show because I know that's what people want, and that's what I came here for.
And on the main card as well, which means a part of the media day as well. I wonder if that's exciting or if you're like, I really wish I didn't have to do this in the first one.
E também card principal, que significa que você está aqui nesse dia de mídia, que quem está no card está aqui. Você fica empolgado de passar por tudo isso daqui ou é aquela coisa assim, putz, que saco, queria estar treinando agora?
Não, fico feliz, pô. E começo já, eu vi que o UFC gostou muito de mim, né? Então eu já esperava isso, já esperava aí começar num card principal ou com um lutador muito experiente no UFC. Então eu já estava esperando e é isso que eu vim fazer. Eu vim para dar show e eles não vão se arrepender de ter feito isso.
No, it's great to be here. It's a great experience, especially because I thought that when I came into the UFC that they saw my potential. They saw that either I was going to be in the main card or fighting someone more experienced. I came for the show. I came to put on a show, and I think they're not going to be disappointed to have me here.
What's the feeling of being back here in the Apex? Because you fought here before, but it's the only place you've ever lost as well. So I wonder if it had like kind of a weird feeling of being back in here.
E qual que é a experiência de estar aqui de volta no Apex? Porque, claro, que é um lugar onde você já lutou, mas é o único lugar onde você perdeu. Então tem uma situação de um dilema um pouco de estar aqui de novo?
Depois que eu perdi a luta no Contender, no que eu estava saindo, eu falei, eu vou voltar aqui. E voltei, e agora, né, no UFC, e tenho certeza que eu vim aqui para fazer história. Agora vou mostrar quem eu sou, de verdade.
When I lost the fight on Contender, I actually told that to myself. I said, I'm coming back, and I came here to, make my history, and I'm going to really show you who is the real me.
That's awesome. After the loss, did you think that it would be able to be in the UFC so quick, or did you think that maybe that pushed your dream back a little bit?
Você achou que depois da derrota você achou que você conseguiria entrar no UFC tão rápido ou você achou que aquilo atrasaria um pouco as coisas?
Não achei, porque depois que eu perdi, né, o Dana White, ele foi lá no vestiário e falou para mim lutar uma luta fora do UFC, que ele tinha gostado muito de mim, que era a primeira vez que ele fazia isso no evento. Aí eu fui, defendi meu cinturão do Jungle Fight, finalizei e estou de volta. Passou alguns meses, o UFC já mandou meu contrato e agora eu tô aí e vim para ficar e para fazer o que vocês gostam aí, que é show.
No, because actually Dana came to us in the locker room and he told me specifically, you get another fight outside of the UFC, we're going to put you in. So that's what I did. I went back to Jungle Fight. I defended my title, got a submission, and I knew that this was, that was it. A matter of months. Here I'm back at it, and I came here to put on a show.
What do you think of Mike Trizano as an opponent? What do you make of him as a fighter?
O que você acha dele como oponente? Qual é a tua leitura do teu oponente?
Meu oponente é um cara duro, um striker também. Para mim casou certinho no meu jogo, porque eu sou um striker também. E podem assistir essa luta sábado, vai ser trocação a luta inteira. Eu vou buscar o nocaute a luta inteira.
I think that the matchup falls real well with me because he's a striker. I'm a striker too. I like to get into that kind of game. I think it fit really well. And come on, watch this fight on Saturday. There's going to be a lot of striking.
Last thing for me, talk about the goal. I mean, you're here now. I know you want to get a victory, but you talk a lot about the show. So is it more important to put on a show, or would a boring win be okay for you as long as you got to win?
E falando sobre objetivo, a última pergunta dele, você fala bastante desse dar um show para a galera, mas para você, o show ou a vitória, o que importa?
Importa a vitória, mas também dar um show para a galera é importante, porque às vezes a pessoa luta, ganha, não convence. Eu venho para convencer, toda luta minha eu convenço. Tanto é que a única derrota que eu tenho na minha carreira, eu convenci o chefão aí, que é o Dana White, e tô de volta aí para isso, para ganhar e convencer, ganhar convencendo.
Of course, the win is really important, but the show is because in every fight I try to win and convince, like we say in Brazil. It kind of rhymes. And so much that I try to win and convince that even in my loss, the big boss liked me. So that means I'm doing something right. So that's why I came here. I came to win and convince, as we say, vencer e convencer.
How quickly after that win at Jungle Fight did he get the call to get this fight?
Quão rápido depois que você defendeu o teu cinturão no Jungle Fight você recebeu a ligação para vir para cá? Logo depois?
O contrato eu assinei depois de 2 meses, né, que eu lutei. Mas acho que depois que eu lutei no Jungle Fight, passou 3 dias, meu manager já falou que estava tudo certo, que o UFC já ia mandar meu contrato.
The contract came after 2 months, but the call came in about 3 days. My manager actually told me that we got a call and everything's all set to go for you within 3 days.
I guess the last thing for me, how good did that feel when you finally got that call, and what was the reaction from the family that you finally got that contract and you finally got the nod to join the UFC?
Minha última pergunta dele, utilizando tudo isso, como é que foi? Como é que você sentiu logo depois de receber, saber que estava tudo certo para você vir para cá e saber que você ia vir para cá para lutar? Como é que ficou a família? Como é que ficou todo mundo que está contigo?
Pô, feliz demais, né? Eu fiquei feliz demais, a minha família, até minha filha, que tem 8 anos, ela já começou a entender melhor que eu sou um lutador, que a minha profissão é essa. E entrando no UFC, todo mundo ficou feliz, né? Pô, a galera não acredita no começo, né? Eu sempre vim de uma família humilde, a galera não acredita muito, mas daí a hora que vê a gente chegando num evento grande, fazendo história aí, a galera já, tá todo mundo feliz, é só alegria agora.
So happy, just so, it's not myself. Even my daughter, I mean, the family, everybody's happy. But even my daughter, my 8-year-old daughter, started to understand, the concept of MMA, the fact that this is my profession, this is what Daddy does, and this is people. They doubt you as well because you come here just what's going to be the next step, and all of a sudden they start to see you as being part of this history, and they're going to be there, and then a lot of support. So everybody's happy for me as well, just very happy.
And I guess going off that, I know a lot of times we've seen in the past, the towns that these Brazilian fighters live in, everybody is so proud of their fighters. Has things changed for you walking around town, just even seeing other people, are people recognizing you and maybe coming up and patting you on the back now that you've gotten the nod to come to the UFC?
Pouco do que você falou, então, aproveitando esse ensejo, muito se fala da cidade de origem, das origens, das tuas origens, das origens de todos os lutadores, quando se tornam famosos, se tornam conhecidos, como é que as coisas mudam quando dá uma passeada na cidade ou na comunidade de onde vieram. Você teve essa oportunidade de voltar e as pessoas verem você, aquele tapinha nas costas, aquela alegria, e parabenizar você por estar representando?
Sim, sim, pô, eu ando na minha cidade hoje, a galera fica feliz, pô, qualquer academia que eu vou, galera, pô, tem um cara do UFC aqui agora, tá todo mundo feliz com essa novidade, né, meu, tipo, pô, um amigo meu, né, tá no UFC, né, as pessoas nem acreditam às vezes, né, mas tá todo mundo feliz na minha cidade e graças a Deus deu uma repercussão muito boa.
Yes, that did happen to me. Everybody happy and say, like, every time I go to a gym, they say, this is a guy from the UFC that's here. So people always say, my friend is in the UFC. So like that reference of being a UFC fighter, that happens a lot. So just, it has happened back in my city, and the repercussions have been great.
I guess last with that, will your family and will your town be getting together to have like a watch party to watch you fight?
Uma última pergunta. A tua cidade, eu não sei de onde você é originalmente?
Sorocaba, São Paulo.
Você é de Sorocaba. So he's from Sorocaba, outside of São Paulo. I want to make sure. A tua cidade, o pessoal que te assiste, vai ter uma festinha para assistir você no sábado?
Pô, com certeza. Sorocaba e região, Itapetininga, Piedade. A gente até brinca que sábado agora vai ser feriado em todas essas cidades aí.
Of course, yes. They're all going to get together. Sorocaba outside of São Paulo, Itapetininga, Piedade, 3 cities around it. They say that we always joke that it's going to be a holiday on Saturday. So good. Cool. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks.
Jairzinho, back with another main event. This is just routine for you at this point, or is it still exciting? What's the feel right now?
Hey guys, what's up? Nah, it feels good. It's a main event. It's a big opportunity, and yeah.
Do you still feel like any added, I don't know, responsibility, or you got to do more than if you're just fighting in another position on the card?
Nah, I just have to win. That's it.
Easy enough. Obviously, you kept getting rescheduled. You ended up having a change of opponent. I guess during these past couple months, has it been frustrating for you? Have you been okay? What's it been like for you?
Yeah, I gotta be honest. It was a tough half year, 2022, but it is as it is. It gives me more time to prepare myself for what's coming. And the heavyweight division it's busy and it's awesome. So it gives me a good chance to prepare myself better and positive.
Do you find it difficult to focus when all that thing is changing, just to get the training routine and the schedule just right?
I mean, the focus is not difficult, but it is the body, body-wise, you got to give yourself a little bit rest so you can go back into camp and push forward.
So ultimately it gets changed to Volkov, I guess. What did you think when that was the name that was given to you?
I right away think it's a good name. It's a big name. It's a big boy as well. And it's a good opportunity. Yeah, definitely.
I know you're not used to preparing for a lot of people bigger than you. Is that challenging to his size, his framework? Does that make training a little bit more difficult?
Yeah, it is. It is challenging. It's tall. You get more reach, a lot more reach. But it is what it is. I go in there and bring the problem.
Is it more fun to prepare for a guy like him? Because, I mean, I would think that he's more likely to strike with you. He'll probably wrestle a little bit, but more likely to strike than some of your other opponents. Is that more fun for you to prepare for?
On the paper, it's fun, but I don't think he's going to stand and strike with me. I think he's going to try to take me down, and we're going to see it from there. But I don't think he's going to strike with me.
Do you think he'll try in the beginning at all, or do you think it'd be silly for him to even try to strike with you?
Nah, I don't know. We're going to see it this Saturday.
The last few fights, kind of alternating wins and losses. I mean, but obviously facing elite level competition. I guess what do you think the key is to making sure you get consistent results?
Now the key is stepping up my overall game, what I did, and it's not there where it has to be yet. We got a lot of mountains to climb, but it's coming along. Yeah.
Talk to me about the goal here. Is it just win, or is it to get one of those spectacular knockouts that you're capable of doing, or is it just a win by any means necessary?
A win by any means that's necessary, but a knockout, mace, is that's what we're going for. Nice. You carry the power, so you just throw it.
Nice. Last thing for me, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I guess as you see this fight play out, talk to me about how you see it going. You think you're just going to have to be defending wrestling from the very beginning?
Maybe, maybe not. I don't think it's going to be a long fight. That's how I think it can be first round, second round. That's how I see it, basically.
I'm curious, what did you think of his performance last time against Tom Aspinall?
I kind of was surprised because we know him as a tough guy, and that it was done so fast, like a minute something. It was surprising, yeah.
Do you think that kind of gives you a route to victory? You can sort of look at Tom and say, well, if I can take this guy down, he can struggle to get back up, or is that nothing that interests you?
It doesn't interest me. I'm a different type of fighter. My style is different. So, we can take advantage of footage that appears online when you see him fight. But then you go again, it's not my style as Tom. So we're going to see what he brings this Saturday, and we will be there and make it difficult enough and win the fight.
Last one for me. How do you see Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blades going? Who do you think wins that fight?
I think it's an interesting fight. And I didn't see much from Aspinall. But as we know, Blades have a crazy wrestling. But we're going to see how we're going to adapt to Aspinall's style. But I don't know. I don't really care. Just who is there in the top 5 or whatever. I'll be there and face them.
Hey, Jairzinho. When your fight was canceled with Marcin, how disappointed were you? Because it was only a day before. The fight was in Florida. Like that's your camp. What were the emotions like?
my first reaction was, damn. But then it's not that the fight got canceled because he don't want, it's just he got sick. So you can force someone and you want the fighter to be his best, so you can be on your best and you level yourself up. So the only thing I could say is get well soon and just wrap up my things and go back home and deal with myself.
Like, what do you do when you find out? Like, are you calling the UFC like, get me a late replacement? Do you go back to the gym? Do you kind of just watch the fights, kind of sad? Like, what do you do?
I definitely watched the fight at home, and no, I spoke to my manager Lou, and he said to me, this is our options, and we didn't choose the fastest option. We choose for a better fight, a better opportunity, and this is this one.
Gotcha. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time. Going into the fight this weekend, it's obvious they'll point out the height and reach differential, but what do you see your strengths going into your main event on Saturday?
I think I wear this guy out. I have more condition, cardio, with my style. I pressure him backwards. If he take a breath too late, I knock him out.
Excellent. And do you guys do much tape studying? Some fighters favorite, some don't. Strategy-wise, do you just study tape, look for openings, or what's the game plan, a little bit of it?
We does that as well. We watch fighters. Yeah, we watch fighters. And the game plan, of course, we do the game plan together.
Excellent. Thank you, sir, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Just one quick one. A lot of people, or some people online, say that they don't think Volkov has a chin anymore. What do you think about his chin? Do you think it's just a matter of you just need to touch his chin and then the fight will be over?
I will thanking those people because I didn't know that, so I will reach for that.
Best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Jairzinho, I got one more for you. With Alexander Volkov being so big and so tall, was it hard finding someone to mimic him? I know that American Top Team has, just about every size of fighter there is, but was it difficult finding somebody like him?
That's a good thing about American Top Team. I'm lucky to be there. They had a guy even bigger than Volkov, so I got a good chance to prepare with him. And this Saturday we will face the tall and the reach and everything. So we will beat it.
Thank you.
what is up?
What's going on? I guess that is probably a good place to start. What is going on? It took 7 months between fights, right? What's been happening?
It's like that all the time. You know, what's been happening is all these opponents kept pulling out all the time. You know, it's like, it's always something, you know what I mean? When I fought Jerome Rivera, Benice Bondar, he had to pull out. When I fought Manil Kopp on 3 weeks notice because Amir Albazi pulled out. Fighters just pull out on me. I don't know what it is, man. It's like, fighters' pull-out game is strong.
That's the quote right there. We're done. No, all right. Talk about your last performance. So a decision win, but I know you're not typically fighting to decision. So were you satisfied with that, happy with that, or is it like if I don't get the finish, I don't feel like I got what I wanted?
So I wasn't satisfied with that, mainly because I had 3 weeks 6 weeks to prepare for that fight, and I had just coming off of a loss with Manil Kopp, quit my job, working with kids. So I had so much pressure, moved out here to Las Vegas, and the weight cut was horrible, man. It was horrible because I hadn't quite get, down. It was only my second fight at 25, and now I have Clint Wattenberg helping me with my weight cut. My last fight, I didn't really have all that, so weight cut was terrible. I had one of the worst weight cuts I've ever had. Obviously, it showed, I think in the third it showed, but I felt it after the first. I felt really extremely fatigued, and it was just a lot of emotions going through having, like I said, not have my students. Usually I'm fighting and my students got my support, and I know I'm going back to them, and so this time it's a little bit different, a little lull in the air. But this time around, man, I'm comfortable where I am right now. I have John Wood and Syndicate. It's just an amazing environment, and I've never in my life had where I've only solely focused on fighting. And I think right now I can kind of breathe. I've been putting the airplane oxygen mask theory where you got to put the oxygen mask on yourself first. And that's the thing with me. I'm always trying to put the oxygen mask on everybody else around me, So finally now I can get me some oxygen, So it's been good. It's been really good. I think you're going to see a spectacular Ode Osborne on Saturday.
That's awesome. So how would you classify like your career in the UFC up to this point, right? Because it wins, losses, but as you said, not even really focusing full time until just now. So are you satisfied with what you've done so far, or do you feel like that's not even representative of who you are? Like, how would you classify it?
I would classify it as 100% not even close to being representative of who I am. I think 2015 was the last time that I truly was happy, because my mentor, father figure, coach passed away, and I had never lost a fight, amateur or a pro, never lost a fight under him, and he passed away in a motorcycle accident, and I moved to Rufasport, then I went to Pura Vida, and I was just bouncing back and forth, kind of almost like finding my worth, you know what I mean? And I kind of felt like I was at an all-time high in confidence, and then I went to an all-time low, and then I kind of felt like I wasn't worthy anymore, if that makes any sense. And so my confidence took a huge hit. And so it was just like, I felt like I was just going up and down, up and down, up and down, and I couldn't quite get my stride. I couldn't quite get my flow. And so, like I said, once I moved out here to Vegas, it's taken some time, but I finally feel like I have that weight off my shoulders and I can have fun. Man, I feel like Ode Osborne again. The Jamaican sensation is finally here.
That's awesome. All right, talk about this matchup then. Zarrukh, what do you think about him as an opponent?
I think he's a great opponent. I think his record doesn't reflect his talent. He was a Glory kickboxing champion, so his stand-up is, I'm not sleeping on him, But at the same time, I'm coming to finish him, and you better believe that you're gonna see some flying knees and you're gonna see everything. I'm throwing everything, but I do what I do. I'm a finishing machine. You know what I mean? I always try to finish my opponents on whatever it's stand-up, on the feet, on the ground. It doesn't matter where it is. I'm always going to be looking to finish. But I respect him a lot, mainly because he took this fight. And it's been a battle to have opponents take fights with me, because I'm in that weird limbo space of I'm not ranked yet, but I'm too dangerous to fight, So I'm in that, ego aside, I'm in that weird limbo until I get ranked where people want to fight me and it's worth something to them. Like, nobody really wants to say yes right now, because people, let's just be real, people want to look for easy fights, and I wouldn't say I'm an easy fight.
Question. Obviously, you want to prove victorious here, but what do you see as your goal in this fight? I mean, is it to go do something spectacular? Is it to maybe just, see how you feel out there, knowing that you're all in at this point? I mean, is it more about that? Like, what is this fight about other than just winning for you?
So I moved to this country from Kingston, Jamaica, because I felt like I had a fire burning within. Since I was the age of 7 years old, I felt that. And, you know, the reason why I mentioned that is because that's my purpose. You know, I want to be a UFC champion. And I realized that in order to be a UFC champion, I have to obliterate everybody. My goal for this fight is to not make it close at all. And my goal for not just this fight, but the next fight is to make all the fights like that. And in order to be a champion, I have to make these fights like obliterate. I have to dominate and be a dominant performance.
And are you co-signing with the rest of the Jamaican guys on getting the UFC to Jamaica as soon as possible?
Oh man, look, we already got Aljamain Sterling, you know, Leon Edwards, even though Leon doesn't claim Jamaica, he claims England, even though he was born in Kingston, like myself. But Rude Boy Randy Brown, shout out to him. He also is a super awesome guy. And Uriah Hall, man, we talk about Jamaican food all the time. Uriah is dope. So yeah, man, if that'd be, oh man, that'd be sick. The UFC Jamaica, come on, man. Look, we are the new era. There's a new era right now, and Jamaican fighters are coming up, and y'all better not sleep on us.
I love it. Last thing for me, on paper, this looks like it could be fireworks. I mean, when you play this out in your head, I mean, do you think this is going to be kind of a back and forth battle, fireworks, or do you think this is one where you can go get quick finishes like you have before?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know. I just know I'm going to go do what I do. You know what I mean? I'm going to go in there and show off my skill set, regardless of what happens in the fight. Win, lose, or draw, I guarantee you the fans are going to love it. And that's one of the things I can say without a doubt. The fans love to watch me fight because I don't go in there to try to win rounds. I go in there to try to finish my opponents. I go in there to try to put on a spectacular show.
Hey, Ode.
What's up?
Talk a little bit more about, man, like being a full-time fighter now and quitting your job and just like focusing on MMA. Like, what's the ceiling like, and just what's it been like?
So first of all, quitting my job hurt. Oh man, that was a tough one for me because if you know me, I love kids. Kids are my passion. Kids are the future. And like I said before, you know, in order to apply the oxygen mask to the kids, I have to show them what sacrifice looks like in order to obtain your destiny. And God has already given me the gift, and I believe has already written my destiny. I just have to trust in Him and follow His plan. But it feels amazing when I tell you that I've had time to myself to kind of reflect and build mentally and physically, especially being at Syndicate where the environment is it's just such an amazing environment. You know, John Wood is such an amazing coach. You know, he's ugly, but he's an amazing coach. You know, we got Vince Morales, just one of the most, you know, I learned a lot from Vince because Vince is one of the most humble human beings I've ever met. You know, he's just so humble. You know, I'm like, bro, you're on your third fight contract right now, and you're fighting at the bottom, and he's opening shows on his third fight contract, and here I am, like, you know, on my second contract on the main card, you know. So, but Vince is always like, you know, he's so humble, and I like being around him because I like people like that to rub off on me. You know, ego aside, I always want to be. You know, there's all these Sean Stricklands and Conor McGregors and Colby Covingtons, which is good for the sport, great for the sport. But sometimes the sport needs more Jamaican iriness. You know, some good people to you know, spread some positivity and some love. And I know that gets annoying because people want the drama. But you know, I'm here to bring something new to the UFC, and I think people will, hopefully, if they don't like it, then you know what, to hell with them. If they, you know, I'm here for the people that want that positive vibes. You know, I'm here to spread that peace, love, and positivity. That's what the world is all. There's so much war going on right now, and everything, you know, and there's not enough of the love and the peace and the positivity. So that's my message along, you know, being in the UFC in my career.
You got bumped up to the main card last week. What do you think that just shows about you and this fight that's going to take place on Saturday?
Well, for me personally, I think that is an honor to be on the main card, but I can't let it get above, you know what I mean? I can't put it up here because then once you do that and once you put it up here, then the goal kind of slips away, you know what I mean? And it's the same goal. And I remember that happening when I fought on the Conor McGregor card when he fought Donald Cerrone. I got bumped to the main card, and I was like, oh, man. And I made it this big thing, and I lost track of what was truly important, which was winning the fight. So, you know, I love being on the main card, and it's going to give me a lot of exposure. But I also have to keep the face and be aware of me and myself.
Finally, what's your favorite Bob Marley song?
Oh, don't worry about a thing, because every little thing. All right, you got the idea.
Fantastic song.
Yeah, man. Look, feel the rhythm.
Thank you.
Hiya. You mentioned Jamaican food earlier. Considering the grueling nature of weight cutting, is there anything you're fantasizing about eating once you can celebrate and eat whatever you want after Saturday night?
Oh, I'm fantasizing about eating some rice and peas. And for all my Jamaicans out there, I'm gonna speak Pato right now. For all my Jamaicans out there, if the rice and peas not a pig steal, man, I want it. I just said, if the rice and peas doesn't have pig in it, I don't want it. Because that's what they use, you know, they use to flavor the meat. They like soak the pig in like salt and marinate, and they use it to flavor the rice, and it brings out that, ooh.
Do you have any cheat days you can have during training, or is what you eat and drink quite regimented and strict to make 125?
Right now, you know, Clint's on my ass, so no, I don't have much of cheat days. I try to get my weakness is sweets. I love candy and I love sugar. When I don't have sugar, I just get this lull. You know, I just get like become a zombie. So I'm trying to figure out. You know, Clint's been helping me figure out ways to put like natural sugars in my body so that I don't have those crashes. You know.
What natural sugars?
Like fruits and berries
yeah,
and like stuff like that. Fruits and berries, like that's the same thing.
What's your go-to way to celebrate wins? Is it through food, drink, partying? How do you kind of let your hair down?
So if you had asked me this 2 years ago, my go-to way of celebrating wins would have been going out with my friends and, you know, drinking and partying and living it up. But right now, I'm in such a focused state of mind that none of that matters really. And, you know, I'll probably go back to Vince Morales' house and hang out with him and, you know what I mean, a few other people. And, you know, we might have a drink or two. But just now, my go-to way is just being with close people that have your back and has been there with you. I think it says something, especially going into other fights, you know, because I don't want to get thrown off course. I want to strike while the iron's hot. And if everything goes my way and I do get a finish, I want to be able to rebound right away, and so I can't let partying and stuff like that get me off the grind.
For sure, thanks. Best of luck on Saturday. Hope you get your, visualize your rice and pea and the pig fat.
Thank you, my man. It's pig feet.
Pig feet. Pig
We look at this sport so much, and we know it's one person in a cage against another person, but when you talked about when, you know, for a moment there you felt kind of lost until you found your way and now you're the Ode, you feel like Ode again. What is it about that relationship with having a team and a coach there to support you and really bring you to that point where you're feeling comfortable again in your skin?
So when I lost my coach, Reese, he always told me, someday you're going to be in the UFC, and if you try, you're going to be a UFC champion. And I never lost as an amateur or a pro under him. And, you know, when I came from Florida, you know, Florida's full of degenerates. So I was kind of lost coming to Wisconsin from Florida. And so Reese kind of honed my abilities, taught me discipline, motivation, gave me a lot to work for and grind. And so after he died, I kind of felt, you know, I like I said, I felt like I wasn't worthy anymore. And I felt like there was a piece of me that was missing. And coming to Syndicate, it kind of fills that void or that gap that's missing. And just the environment alone has kind of made me relax, because I've always just been so tense. You know what I'm saying? And trauma will do that to you, man. When you lose somebody that's always been so close to you, it'll do that to you. And I feel like I've never been able to bounce back until now. And I think the people are going to see a spectacular Ode Osborne on Saturday, and I can't wait to show them what they're going to, you know, you better believe they're going to see some flying knees. That's for sure. That's my thing.
Awesome. And last question for me, because I know you love talking about food, you know, while you're cutting weight. A lot of times people, Jamaican, they just think jerk chicken, but I know there's a ton of other stuff out there besides jerk chicken. So is somebody wrong if they're just like, oh, I want to have Jamaican, they go jerk chicken, or what would you send them? What way would you send them if they said, hey, I want to try some Jamaican food? Where are you going to point them?
First of all, that's like people will be like, oh, American food, McDonald's. You know what I mean? It's like, no, there's far more than McDonald's here in America. All right. So it's the same concept with Jamaican food. If you haven't tried ox, you have to try the ox. The ox is amazing. I think that's probably one of my favorites. And the beef patties is also one of my favorites. So ox, beef patty, and if you haven't tried curry goat, ooh, it's like if you like lamb, you'll like goat. You know what I mean? That goat's good.
So if you're going to dinner with somebody and they order the jerk chicken, you're side-eyed giving them some looks.
I mean, it depends. If it's their first time eating jerk chicken, then I won't knock them. You know what I mean? But if they're like being basic and just ordering jerk chicken all the time, I'll be like, bro, come on, man. You better have the ox. You better have you some ox. The ox is good. But, you know, people sometimes they don't like to experiment. So, you know, it is what it is.
Best of luck on Saturday.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks, my man, for taking the time. If you were given the preference, do you want to go back to that T-Mobile Arena, get that energy, or you're good with the Apex?
Man, it don't matter to me because through and through, I'm a fighter. Through and through, I was born to be a warrior. You know, God put me on this earth to use fighting as a platform to spread his message and build in the world, etc., all that other stuff. But the reason why I bring that up is that really it doesn't matter to me because at the end of the day, it's the same cage, you know, and I think I like the Apex though because I can hear my coach. And when you can hear your coach in the corner, it makes a world of a difference. And sometimes that loudness, when I fought at Madison Square Garden, it was dope, man. It was cool. The environment was cool. Walking out was cool. But sometimes you can't hear your corner as much, you know. So being at the Apex, when you can hear your corner, makes a world of a difference. So I love that.
That's excellent. Thank you for sharing. And
of course.
We could hear about it or social medias, yada, yada, but it's better to hear it directly from the source. What's good with the scene as far as like UFC Fight Night Jamaica? Like how big is it? Is it competing with soccer? How big is MMA as far as Jamaican goes and the fans and all that?
So boxing is really big in Jamaica. Like Jamaicans are huge with boxing. It's huge. MMA is actually just starting. There's actually a few gyms out there now. I want to say there's about 2 gyms in Jamaica right now, and they don't have much. You know, I follow them on Instagram, and they have like they're literally, you know, wearing like shin pads and gloves, and they're out there. Sometimes they'll be out there. I watch videos of them being like on the concrete, you know, sparring, and I'm just like, y'all, look. If we get a good foundation, I'm telling you, man, we get a good foundation in Jamaica, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
That's excellent, man. Best of luck on Saturday, and we'll make sure not to be basic with the jerk chicken.
That's someday. Don't be basic with the jerk chicken.
Just to jump on that, who's the main influence for boxing in Jamaica? Is it Lennox Lewis?
Yes, it is. And so my uncle was a really good boxer. He was undefeated as a professional in Jamaica. And then he retired. He retired as an undefeated boxer. But yeah, I don't know too much, but I do know boxing is huge because that was something we used to watch as kids in Jamaica.
And what's the best Jamaican candy? I know you were saying candy is like one of your things that you love.
Oh, there's so much, man. I don't even know. We call it, well, we say sweets like, you know, you guys do in Europe. We say sweets. So I would say this thing called coconut drops. It's almost like a coconut pastry that has like coconut shreds. Oh, I love that, man. I love coconut drops and stuff like that. Oh, I just, even thinking about it, my mouth salivating.
I know you've been replacing fruits with the sweets, but can you fool your body into thinking like a peach is the coconut drops or anything like that, or is there nothing that compares?
Oh, I try, but my body's like, man, you better get out of here with that. All right, man. Thank you guys. Hope you guys have a good day.
Alonzo, I know a little frustrating with the decision last time out, but I'm just curious, I guess, kind of what lessons you took out of that performance.
Do more in the clinch. Yep, you know, work more in the eyes of the judge.
Do you recall kind of what you felt at the time? Did it felt like you were being more active than maybe you were when you went back and looked at it?
I mean, I felt like I was controlling them. As far as controlling them, I realized I could have did more. So it is what it is. I got one check, not two. So.
Did that start getting you into like how we judge? It's been like a big debate lately. Like, what are the judges actually looking for? What what do they value? I mean, as you watch that fight back, did that occur to you? Like, am I looking at the wrong thing? Am I not looking at the same thing the judges are?
Right. So I guess looking at the fight, I try to see what the judges are looking for, moving forward. So yeah, just look like you're doing something.
You don't actually have to do anything, just make it look like you're doing something.
Look like you're doing something, right.
Well, talk about the preparation for this one, a change in opponent. I mean, does that change anything in how you get ready for something?
No, it was always this opponent.
Okay.
Yeah, the first contract, it was his name. I think they just got it wrong.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? I mean, when you face a newcomer, kind of, you know, do you bother like looking for tape outside of the UFC? Do you prepare yourself that way?
Yeah, you know, I play linebacker, so we always study film. But this guy is like invisible on the internet. Good job with his team and making him a secret.
So I was gonna say I haven't found much footage on him. So you didn't find much footage on him either.
No, I found a little bit, so I was able to pick up something from him. So we'll see it Saturday night. But yeah.
How much do you change your approach based on what you see? I mean, do you tailor an entire game plan, or is it more just like knowing what they're gonna do?
Yeah, I guess you just gotta have the MMA mindset. Just mix it up when they're like unknown like this. So yeah, I take it wherever the fight goes, I'll take it. And my plan is to dominate. Period.
Do you think you hold an advantage over a newcomer? Just, you know, you've experienced this. You know what it feels like. You know what it is. I mean, do you think whether it be nerves or just not knowing what the cage feels like, the lights look like, do you feel like that gives you an advantage?
It maybe not. I mean. Who knows? I don't know. It's all up to him in his head. But me, I don't care.
Do you think he'll try to clinch you and want to be in that position?
I hope he clinches me, because I'll clinch him.
Last thing for me, I guess, I mean, what's the goal here? Is it to, I mean, obviously you want to get a win. Is it to do something spectacular, or is it, you know, if you have to grind out a decision, maybe the way the last one's been, is that okay with you?
Finish, because I need that dinero, so I'm going to finish regardless.
3 checks.
Yeah. Give me 3. Yeah, hell yeah. I'll take it.
Hey, Alonzo. Did you see the news of his record being changed and him having 2 Tabology accounts and everything?
Yeah, I seen it, man. It's preposterous. Madness.
What'd you think of that?
I don't know, man. It's hard. I don't know what to think. So I don't want to insult him, but I mean, like, are you for real about fighting, or are you not? I mean, so I'm curious to see how he'll fight Saturday, because I'm like, this. When you're in there, it's no more opposing. This is what it is. It's a fight, and this is the highest level. So we'll see.
Your teammate Ryan Spann got a win in his last fight. I just wanted your thoughts on his performance.
Yeah, he shut the back door on that guillotine, right? He couldn't spin out of it. He shut the back door. I thought it was awesome. Congrats to him over here. To him, congrats.
And then you're also fighting with teammate Damon Jackson. Are you one of those fighters that gets more nervous about your teammates fighting with yourself? Because I've heard both sides about that.
No, teammates. When you get in there, it's individual. So I don't get nervous. I mean, we're warriors. Let's get in there. Let's fight. So that's what I tell them.
Do you like fighting with teammates?
Nah, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Fight with them or not.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, cool. All good? Yep. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Сразу.
Well, so I believe it's first fight in Las Vegas for you in your career. So what's the feeling like? Is it special being here in Las Vegas? You know, the fight capital of the world.
Твой первый бой в Лас-Вегасе, какие чувства, какое-то особое чувство, что ты будешь драться в столице, боевой столице мира?
У меня должен был быть бой здесь, в Вегасе, но из-за позитивного теста на корону он сорвался. Надеюсь, в этот раз ничто мне не помешает показать Вегасу, кто я такой.
Yeah, I was scheduled to fight in Vegas before, but because of positive tests, the fight was cancelled. And hopefully this time nothing gonna stop me to show Vegas what kind of fighter I am.
Co-main event as well. I guess a bigger spotlight. Is that exciting for you?
It's good opportunity, good name, my opponent, but you know, I'm very confident, and nothing don't mess me on this fight.
Fighting in front of a small crowd again instead of a big arena, does that change anything for you in the feel of the fight?
Special this thing, what I need, you know, big cage is big place for my opponent to run.
So you like the small cage?
Of course.
What do you think of Dan as an opponent? What do you think of his skills?
He's good. Wrestling, cardio, boxing, pretty good. But I think I'm better. And I will prove it this fight and finish this guy.
Your undefeated record, how often do you think of like, does it add pressure or thoughts like I have to stay perfect?
This is just numbers, you know, undefeated, 15-0, 15-15, doesn't matter. Only think what matters. I go to octagon and finish this guy.
You win here, you got to be looking at the top of the division. What do you think you deserve with a victory?
Что ты заслуживаешь после победы?
I hope after this fight, when I get victory, I need one more good name for title shot, I hope.
And what type of fight do you think this will be? Will you have to go 3 rounds to win this fight, or do you think you can finish him?
My plan finish this guy first round. I don't need 3 rounds.
Do you practice your English? Like, how are you getting better at English? It's getting good.
I didn't practice so too much. You know, I prepare more or less my fighting skills. But after this fight, I need take moment for prepare English.
What's up, Movsar? Your 5th fight in the UFC, already a co-main event. How does that make you feel?
This co-main event is good, but my plan main event next time, and maybe after, you know, title fight.
I think obviously the hardcore MMA fans know who you are, know how good you are. Do you believe that if you go out there and finish Dan Ige, the more casual fan and more fans will know who you are and just how good you are?
Что, ну, в основном такие хардкор-фанаты о тебе знают. Считаешь ли ты, что финиш на Дэном Иге повысит твою популярность среди широких масс именно?
I hope so, and I need to show, you know, my best version for this, and prove for everybody I'm real contender for the fight, title fight.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro. That's it? Thank you.
guess first, it's just been kind of a difficult stretch over the last couple of years with cancellations and injuries and everything else. So I guess just how difficult has it been for you the last few years?
Primeiro de tudo, falar um pouco dos últimos 2 anos aí, que cancelamento, lesão, essas coisas todas. Como é que tem sido para você? Tem sido difícil esse período dos últimos 2 anos aí?
Então, essa última luta minha, que eu ia lutar com a Junkie, acabou que eu tive Covid bem próximo da luta, estava preparada, estava pronta já para viajar, estava com peso, com tudo muito certo, mas infelizmente peguei o Covid e acabei não conseguindo lutar. Mas aí quando casou essa luta, teve um distanciamento muito grande, então foi onde eu consegui me preparar muito melhor para essa próxima luta.
Thinking about the last fight, and I was scheduled to fight John Kim, so I had COVID right before I had made weight, so I was ready to go, and that came as a shock because obviously it hampered that fight. And I do understand there's been a lot of time between the opportunity to fight and when I actually fought, but that gave me the time to prepare.
Has there been any time along the way where you're just like, I have the worst luck, why won't good things happen to me, or have you been able to keep the faith?
Teve algum momento que você pensou assim, puxa, eu tô muito azarada, cara? Ou em algum momento, de uma maneira geral, você manteve a fé, estava tudo certo?
De forma alguma, eu acho que um atleta profissional, e tanto que a gente treina, o tanto que a gente dedica, é muito, vamos dizer, relativamente assim, é muito mais fácil uma lesão acontecer, alguma coisa assim, para quem treina muito, para quem se dedica. Mas eu confio no meu trabalho, então eu vou sempre ter fé para dar continuidade nele.
By no means, I thought that just because as an athlete, I understand that, I mean, relatively, we're more prone to having an injury. So going through these things, it's part of our life. But I do feel that, prepared and just keeping on and ready to continue what I figured and be prepared for this fight.
Karine Silva, I guess, tell us what you think about her as an opponent.
Sobre a Karine, o que você acha dela como oponente?
Somos brasileiras, né? Somos duríssimas. Mas eu estarei bem representando o Brasil ali, como ela também, né? Mas eu venho uma outra lutadora, uma nova lutadora. Eu venho com novos treinadores, com uma cabeça muito certa. Visualizei muita coisa nesse camp que eu nunca tinha visualizado. Peguei minhas lutas, foi um camp totalmente diferente, um camp muito maior, muito mais longo, mais completo e muito mais confiante.
We're tough. We're Brazilian women, and we're tough. We're going to be there. I think our country is really going to be really well represented. But I do think that there were changes. There was improvement. I changed my coaches. I do feel that there was that improvement, and also mentally there was things that helped me prepare. For example, I saw my previous fights. I watched them, and I saw things there. I visualized things that I hadn't seen before. So I do feel that this is it's this new me, is this new fighter, and more improved, more complete fighter.
Years ago, like Brazilians didn't really want to fight other Brazilians. They wanted to fight foreigners. Is it still difficult? They keep pairing you with Brazilians. Is it upsetting, or are you okay with it?
Por muitos anos, brasileiros e brasileiras sempre tentaram evitar lutar uns com os outros e umas com as outras, sempre querendo lutar contra estrangeiros. Esse, obviamente, é meio chato, às vezes, sempre que colocam vocês para lutar uma com a outra, ou como é que você vê isso?
Então, a gente vai estar preparado para qualquer um ali em cima do octógono, mas se fosse para escolher, eu não escolheria porque não fosse brasileira, né? Porque a gente está representando o mesmo país e tem tantos lutadores que a gente pode lutar na categoria. Então, se fosse para escolher, eu não escolheria um brasileiro. Mas como o UFC comanda aí, a gente vai estar preparado para qualquer um que está ali do outro lado.
Whatever comes, we're gonna face, and it doesn't matter, obviously, who they put in front of you. But the main thing is that generally we don't want to fight each other because we are representing the country, as I mentioned, and there's so many good fighters out there to actually fight against that maybe we don't need to fight them. But hey, the UFC makes the matches, and whatever opponent comes, we're gonna fight.
What does this fight represent to you in terms of, like, you said, like, completely brand new, change? I mean, do you feel like there's something to prove because of all that you've been through to, like, prove doubters wrong or prove something to yourself?
O que essa luta significa para você em termos já que você mencionou de melhoria dessa nova lutadora mais completa que se preparou de uma maneira diferente? Você acha que você tem alguma coisa a provar para as pessoas ou é provar talvez para você mesmo?
Então, eu venho de uma fase bem complicada, por isso que teve também as mudanças dos treinadores, mas eu venho muito mais confiante agora, acreditando nesse novo jogo, nessa nova Poliana. Então, eu vou dar meu melhor ali em cima e sair com o braço levantado trazendo a vitória.
I did come from a complicated stage of my life in which that's why I changed the coaches, but I think that it contributed to being this new person. I feel very confident that I'm this new fighter. As I said, this new Poliana, this more complete Poliana, and I'm pretty confident that I'm going to come out with my hand raised.
Last thing for me, I guess, what kind of fight do you think we see? Is this something where you can go in and get it done quick, or is this going to be a back and forth battle again? What kind of fight do we see?
E por último, que tipo de luta que você vê? Uma luta em que você vai tentar terminar as coisas o mais rápido possível, uma luta que vai ser pegada e que pode ir para distância? O que você vê sábado?
Cri.
Crickets.
Eu estou preparada para qualquer área que acontecer essa luta. Todo mundo sabe que eu sou nocauteadora, mas se tiver que finalizar ela, que tiver momento para finalização, eu também vou finalizar. Mas acredito também que possa ser 3 rounds ali, a gente dando o máximo ali e fazendo uma excelente luta nessa noite.
Whatever comes, obviously, I do believe that I am into knockouts, done a lot, but if I need to go to the ground, I'm going to try to get a submission. And I do believe it could go to 3 rounds, and that we're going to go at each other, and we're going to give our all there and have a great fight.
Hey, Poliana. You said that you changed your coach. I just wanted to know if you could explain that a little bit.
Você mencionou que você mudou os seus técnicos, então você poderia explicar um pouquinho para a gente como é que foi essas mudanças?
Então, eu via nessa nova fase minha, como eu disse, que eu venho de 2 derrotas, foi pensado, eu comecei a trabalhar um trabalho psicológico também, com um psicólogo, e mudei meu professor de boxe, mudei meu professor de grappling, mudei meu professor de Muay Thai. Como eu disse, vem assim agora uma nova Poliana, um novo jogo, usando muito mais mentalmente, usando a cabeça, usando o momento certo para jogar certos golpes, para não acontecer algum erro no momento da luta.
Actually, one of the things that I did was also get a mental coach, so actually get somebody to work on the psychological side. So that's a change that happened as well. As far as the physical side is concerned, so there was a change to my boxing coach, change in grappling coach, and change for Muay Thai as well. So, but I do feel that I became more of an intelligent fighter, someone that's smarter during the fight, that knows when to let it loose and when to pull it back. And that's part of this new Poliana, someone that's mentally clear to be in this fight.
Did you change gyms with that, and then with the mental coach, do you feel like it helped and worked?
Você mudou de academia nesse processo e você acha que esse trabalho psicológico, o que mudou, o que você sentiu? Você acha que realmente teve uma melhoria na tua cabeça?
Então, eu não mudei de academia, eu só mudei os meus professores. O trabalho mental, psicológico, cara, acrescentou muitas coisas para mim, até mesmo que a gente vê que é coisa até da infância que faz diferença toda agora, mas isso trouxe um benefício muito bacana para mim. E como eu falei, hoje em dia eu consigo me orientar muito melhor dentro do octógono, nos treinamentos, e é só eu conseguir colocar isso no octógono sábado.
No, I did not change gyms, so just change the coaches within that structure. And as far as the mental coach is concerned, I mean, there were things that I tapped into that go back to childhood. He was able to change. So I understand that there's some vices out there that we need to get over. After that work, I'm even better to actually get my bearings inside the octagon. Things change for me. Visualizing the game, and as you can see, it's something that made me really confident for the fight.
Awesome. And finally, for me, do you feel like you're fighting for your job on Saturday?
E a última pergunta, você acha que você está lutando pelo teu emprego aqui no UFC no sábado?
Sim. Sim, eu vou brigar até o final, até o último minuto, eu vou estar lá entregando meu coração na ponta da minha mão.
Yeah, and I'm going to fight until my heart out, and my heart's going to be and the edge of my punches.
Thank you.
How's it going?
What's going on, Dan? I mean, you go from zombie to Emmett to the undefeated guy. I mean, do you ever go like, hey, can we slide back a little bit? What are we doing here?
Nah, man, I was just talking to Gavin about that, and you know, I've been really thinking about it, and that's what my legacy is going to be at the end of the day, the guy who's fought anyone and everyone. And I was just saying, like, I would be a coward if I tried to choose an easy route to the top, and I want to be the guy that's known that's fought the best guys in the world, and that's all I'm out here to do, is to test myself and to grow as a fighter and to eventually reach the top.
I was gonna say, I mean, in some ways, it's like a compliment, right? They keep giving you guys that have better records each time out. I mean, do you take that as maybe a sign of respect from the organization?
A little bit. I mean, I really don't think too much into it. I'm sure there's not a whole lot of guys out there, especially in the top 10, top 15, that wants to fight a undefeated Russian that's just coming up the rankings that not a lot of people know. But I'm that guy, and I find some type of pleasure to give a guy his first loss. So, you know, that's what I look at in all this, you know, when they offer me that opponent. And I'm usually not one to turn down a fight. I don't think I've ever turned down a fight, actually. So here I am a few days away and get to do this thing again.
Didn't necessarily get the results you wanted last couple times out, but just curious what you thought about your performances. I mean, you are taking guys to the distance. You're putting on good fights. I mean, do you take any comfort in your performance?
You know, I mean, a little bit, but not really, man. I just, like my last fight, for instance, it was a close fight. You can argue both ways, but at the end of the day, I didn't get my hand raised. And why? Because I didn't do enough. And, you know, when I look back at that, it's just like, what is it that's holding me back from getting to the next level? And, you know, it's those little moments and like taking risks, taking chances, and that's just something I've been focusing a lot in my life and in training, is just taking more chances in life. And I really think that will start to translate in my fighting career. And I feel like I'm growing a lot. I feel, you know, I'm on a fresh slate, if you want to call it that. You could say I'm, you know, 0-2 in my last 2 fights, but I see myself as 0-0. I'm a new. It sounds cheesy to say, but I'm a new person, and I'm starting fresh, and I'm having fun with this again. I kind of grew kind of bitter over the sport over the last year, and I put a lot of pressure on myself when I became a dad. Like, I had to financially provide for my family, and that was just an extra pressure I didn't really need, because I never got into this sport for money. I got into this to be the best in the world, and I knew eventually money would come. But, you know, you start making decent money, and then you like hear all the topics about fighter pay. You can get bitter over the sport real quick. And so I just, taking financials away, like, I tried to get back to my roots. Like, what got me to the UFC? I was fighting for 10 free tickets. I fought for free my first pro fight, and then I fought for $500. Like, it was never about the money. It was to be the best. And that's kind of the mindset I have again. And you know, money is nice. You know, I can always make money because I know how to work hard. So, you know, I'm not thinking about that. I'm just thinking about winning and having fun and going out there and performing.
That's awesome. When did you reach that realization? Was it after the last fight, or?
You know, I had a little bit after the zombie fight, you know, because that fight I was very emotional. I've never had that type of emotion like before a fight. And I think it's because I was because going in the Gavin Tucker fight, like, I was just this, like, there was not a man that was going to beat me that night, because I had like a different kind of, my wife was about to give birth, but I was very protective. And like, for the first time, I think just randomly at like coffee shops, like, a guy was smoking a cigarette, and I like snapped on the guy. I was like, hey, my wife's pregnant. Like, but that's not who I am. But it was like my protective dad instinct. And then it's like my son actually came into the world, and it changed a whole lot of things. And I don't know, it just, like I said before, it became a financial thing. And I didn't really like take time to to adapt becoming a father. I just tried to like force all these things that I think I'm supposed to do, but no one knows what to do, especially for that first child in the first year of life. But I think I'm growing, I'm adapting, and I'm just becoming a better father, better human, better person. I'm grounded, I'm connected with my family, I'm connected with God again, and I feel good. I feel enlightened, refreshed, and I'm happy.
Talk about the preparation for this fight, I guess. Was it just like nonstop wrestling all day, every day?
Kinda, man. I reached out to Sean Shelby. It's funny because after the Emmett fight, it was so close that I wanted to just almost get right back in there right away. And then after about a month, I was like, okay, I'll take a little time after I put some pounds on, and took some time off. But I had reached out to Sean in like mid-January. I was in Hawaii, and I told him I'd like to take a little time off, maybe fight in around May, June. And right in February, he offered me Movsar, and I was like, okay, that's 17 weeks. Sweet. We'll take it. But once I got the bout agreement, once I signed the bout agreement, I can't shut my mind off. So I've pretty much been going nonstop. But I've kept it fun. I went and trained different places. I did a little secret mini Russian training camp for 3 weeks, and then I went to Denver, Colorado. I kind of had the Rocky mindset that I'm fighting freaking Drago, the undefeated Drago, and here I am, Rocky. So I went to Colorado Mountains, trained with Justin Gagey for a month. I lived at his house, and then I came back to Vegas. It was my son. I couldn't miss his birthday, son's first birthday. Then I still had like 9 weeks to prepare, so I just been grinding here, and I'm in the best shape of my life, and I don't think I could be any more prepared.
Last thing for me, kind of knowing the realizations you've had, the mindset you've had. I mean, does the result of the fight matter to you, or is this more about just the performance that you go in there, you do your best, you enjoy it, you take it in? Is that enough?
I really do see myself winning this fight, but it's not about for me, it's not about the result, the trophy, the performance. It's about me going in there and being free and having fun with this. I think I've been in this sport for a while now, and I've been there at the top. I've been there when I was on a 6-fight win streak, and I had the company behind me, pumping me out, giving me main events, and you buy into your own hype a little bit, and you start to believe you're this person who you really aren't. I'm just a normal person like every other fighter in this, but you buy into your own hype, and I think my opponent's probably experiencing that right now. 15-0, it's kind of hard not to be a little confident and cocky, and you got the odds makers behind them, you got the media and everyone saying, oh my God, this guy's unstoppable. Like, he's just another human being like myself, and he's had an equal amount of time to prepare, and we'll see what happens Saturday night, but I'm confident I'm going to go in there and get the W.
Hey, Dan. What's the super secret Russian camp that you went to?
It was here in Vegas, but I don't want to. When it all happened, it was just like a weird political time with like the war and everything, and I don't want to get anyone in trouble just because I was out there grinding. That's all that matters. I've actually trained with the Russians a lot. I've trained with Khabib. I've trained with Islam Makhachev. I've trained with all the best guys that are the top Russian prospects in this game, and now I get to fight one. But I've done a lot of training with them in the past, and there's I know, although they're all a little bit different, they have a similar approach and a similar style. So I'm used to the style, and I've gotten hundreds of rounds, literally hundreds of rounds with these guys, where I was sparring 3 times a week, and that's something I never do. But I followed the Russian training program where I'm sparring 3 times a week and grappling every single day, and I can't count how many rounds that I've gotten with him. So yeah, that's all. That all adds up, and here I am.
You say that you've wrestled with Khabib and Islam and all of the killers over in Extreme Couture. On tape, what do you think of Movsar's wrestling?
I think his wrestling is really good. I mean, overall, as an MMA fighter, he's really good. He's able to put everything together really well. His ability to anticipate and know when guys are like, he knows when to fit in on takedowns and knows when to strike with guys. And typically, when you watch him fight, if he has a little bit better stand up, he won't even go to the wrestling. He'll just stay and strike with guys if he has a little bit better stand up. But I think it's what we haven't seen from Movsar, and what we haven't seen is his ability to face adversity. I've faced a lot of adversity in my life, and I've overcome a lot of obstacles and a lot of mountains, and I've climbed a lot of mountains as well. And he's on the mountaintop right now, but he doesn't know there's another valley ahead of him to get to the next peak, and that's me. I'm the valley. So I'm excited to be the one to put a 1 on his record. But at the end of the day, he's a great fighter. He's a great test, and I'm just excited.
Did you also go out to Arizona?
I did. Yeah. I thanks for reminding me. Yeah, I went and trained with Cejudo for. I went for 5 days. I went out, trained with him, and then I went to the fights to support Justin. But yeah, that was a nice little, I guess you could call it downtime, because we didn't train super hard, but we broke down like just the fundamentals, the philosophy of fighting. He explained to me his philosophy, and I just try to take little bits and pieces from all the greats, from Khabib, from Justin Gaethje, from Henry Cejudo, and all the guys that I've been able to be around and learn from, and to make it my own, make my own style, and make my own. I don't even know. I feel like I've really grown a lot, but I've taken that time. Say if I got this fight on like a 8-week notice, I wouldn't have the courage to go out and like get out of my comfort zone and go to Colorado and do things out of my typical normal routine. But because I had 17 weeks to prepare, I got to like actually make it fun and do different things and get out of my comfort zone, because I knew I had so much time to like, it's always I guess the anxiety you get is more so about like being in shape and making weight within 8 weeks, but having 17 weeks, there's no excuse for me to not be in shape. And so it's given me that freedom, and having that freedom has also kind of just enhanced my mind and my spirit to go out there and have fun and take risk, and yeah.
Awesome. And finally for me, win Rocky win, what'd you go with the t-shirt choice?
I don't know, it's just like a little symbolism, like I stated earlier. I'm fighting Drago, man. I'm fighting Khabib, and I'm Rocky. I'm the guy they count out. I'm not supposed to win this fight. That's what the odds say. I'm not supposed to win, but don't believe in that shit.
Awesome. Thank you.
Dan, thanks for taking the time. Heading into the fight, co-main, you've been here, main, all that. How great has the experience been to be able to get the father, Danny Ige, the hype Danny Ige? Like, what have you taken little by little to put together the best version of yourself?
It's literally just time, because you can't learn something right away. Everything takes time, and that's how you build perseverance, is going through daily struggles, learning new things. Becoming a father was very hard. I'm super blessed and fortunate to have a great wife who does a majority of the parenting, so I can go out there and work hard. She helps me help her at the end of the day, or vice versa. So we definitely help each other. We have a good team, a good structure, And I think that's super important because I used to, I don't know, I was a very selfless fighter, I guess. And this is a selfish sport, they say. And being selfish was something that I've always had a hard time with. So it's like literally like after training, I should be focusing on what am I going to feel, what am I going to put in my body. But my first instinct is, okay, what does my wife need to eat and what does my son need to eat? And then I'll just eat whatever they eat. But it's like this is something you grow like in a marriage, grow as a team. We had this conversation probably right before fight camp. I was like, hey, let's just like talk about this now. And so there's no like expectations. Like either I'm going to fend for myself for every meal to make sure I'm fueled, or you're going to make me every meal. And she's like, okay, you fend for yourself. So that was like something that's definitely taken a lot of stress off my plate because I do stress a lot about, you know, my family and my other livelihood. But now it's just like I figured out how to kind of separate them. Even though they're my fuel, they're my motivation, you kind of have to separate family and fighting because it's a crazy sport and it's a brutal and a ruthless sport. And at the end of the day, it's like I got another guy trying to essentially kill me. If there's no ref in there, like we're trying to kill each other. That's what we do. And I mean, you could look at this as a sport and points and all that, but like no, you have to go in there with a killer instinct. And I kind of didn't have that. Speaking of my last fight, like I didn't have that with Josh Emmett. He's a nice guy. I remember I've had not really a relationship, but like being around him at the PI when he was doing his knee rehab, I was doing like shoulder rehab, and like he was always a nice guy. And then we're at the weigh-ins, literally about to walk out on stage. It was like me, my coach Eric, Josh, and Joey, his coach, and we're just chatting the whole way, all the way up till we face off. And something in me like didn't really want to hurt him because I was talking to Justin Gagey after the fight, and he's like, "Did you want to kill him the whole time?" I'm like, "Good question, but no, maybe for a split second I wanted to kill him, but there was never like I didn't want to kill him the whole time." So you have to take away that like personal relationship. So I'm sure Movsar is a nice guy, but I see him as a little evil bastard trying to take away from my family. So I'm going to go out there and treat him that way.
All right, man. And lastly for me, not that Dan Balboa needs any more motivation, but your opponent let us know that he's predicting a first round finish. Comments on that?
He could predict whatever he wants. I've never been finished in my career. I've fought the absolute killers of killers in this division, and if he's any different, he hasn't finished anyone in his career. He finished some guys in the regional promotions, but never in the UFC, and he hasn't fought the high-level guys that I've faced and I've finished. So yeah, I mean, hopefully he can back up his talk, but at the end of the day, we're gonna fight, and you know, good luck to him.
Man, thank you, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Is that the most Justin Gaethje question ever? Like.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Yeah. No, for real, dude. Talk about like learning how to take risks. Just go surround yourself. Like go live with Justin Gaethje for a month, and it's a crazy mother effort.
This is a slightly off-topic question. I have no idea if you'll care about this. Did you care that Johnny Depp just beat Amber Heard in court and got $15 million off her?
I don't know. Good for him. I don't really follow those. I see a little bit online and like read the memes and stuff, but I didn't really get into the case. But 15 million, good for him.
I've got another one for you.
Sure.
Have you ever in an argument pooped in your bed?
Never. Neither has my wife, so.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Sure thing. Sweet. Okay, thank you. See you guys.
I guess just talk about the emotions right now, a couple days out from your UFC debut. What's the feeling like?
Primeiro de tudo, as emoções de estar alguns dias da tua estreia. Como é que você está sentindo?
Eu estou muito feliz. Me define, eu estou orgulhosa do meu desempenho nos treinos, de toda a minha equipe. Eu estou muito contente.
I'm very happy. I think that's what would define me. I feel confident about the work that I put in, and the outcome, the fact that of the process of getting ready for it. Just very happy. Everybody's just happy to be here.
I think 6-7 months between the Contender Series and now. Was that by design, or were you hoping to have fought sooner?
Eu acho que uns 6-7 meses da tua luta do Contender para agora, você tá tranquila com esse tempo que você teve para lutar, ou achou que poderia ter lutado antes?
Não, eu fiquei tranquila. Foi ótimo. Foi muito bom.
No, that was fine. I mean, that was a good amount of time.
What was the focus in the interim? I mean, do you feel like, you haven't had your debut yet, but do you feel like you have to do things differently already just because you're in the UFC?
E qual que é a emoção, assim, o que muda de você? Porque você realmente já estreou, você só agora estreia no UFC, mas muda alguma coisa do que você passou para estar aqui em Contender para vir para cá agora?
O trabalho dobrou. Eu tive que trabalhar muito mais. Mas a emoção está bem parecida. Estava feliz no Contender, estou muito feliz agora também. Estou tranquila. Vamos trabalhar.
The work doubled. That's what you have to put in the work, and it's double the work, obviously. But the emotion is pretty much the same. I was happy to be here for Contender Series, happy to be here again. But yeah, the work double. We're gonna work. We're gonna work.
And now that you're here, like at the apex, is it a familiar feeling? I wonder if that helps a little bit. You don't always hear about nerves in a UFC debut, but does being in the same building help make it a little easier?
E tá aqui no Apex. Eu sei que você já ganhou uma luta aqui e tal, mas você acha que é um lugar facilita você estar num lugar que você já conhece, já está familiarizado?
Sim. Tenho um carinho pelo Apex já, então fiquei bem contente, como eu tinha comentado já. Estou bem feliz de poder fazer minha estreia no UFC aqui.
Yeah, it's this place grows on you. As I commented in another interview, that to be here just is a special place, and yeah, it's a place that it grows fond there every time.
Talk about Poliana as an opponent. What do you think of her as a fighter?
Sobre a Poliana como adversário, o que você pensa dela como lutadora?
Olha, não estou pensando nela agora. O meu foco no momento é todo na estratégia, tudo que a gente trabalhou. Então a minha energia está toda focada no que eu posso fazer e no que eu vou fazer.
Not focused on her right now. We're focused a lot on the strategy, what I can do, who I can be, and on my side of things.
And the goal for you, I mean, obviously to win, but is it to just get a win and feel comfortable here in the UFC, or is it to do something spectacular and have people talking about you from your very first fight?
E o teu objetivo no UFC é vencer e começar um processo e estar aqui para pertencer, ou é fazer um show? E você acha que isso é importante na tua estreia? Você já quer arrebentar a boca do balão de cara?
A gente sempre quer arrebentar a boca do balão, né? Mas eu acredito que agora é um passo de cada vez. É um trabalho de formiguinha. Levar um pedacinho a cada momento, e o primeiro passo que eu vou dar vai ser nesse sábado.
We always want to put on a show, but I do believe that this is a step-by-step thing, comparing like a little bit to the work of ants, right? Like a worker bee kind of situation. So I just think that this is a step, and this journey starts on Saturday.
I guess last thing for me, I'm sure you thought about this moment for a long time. So what kind of fight do you think we see? Is this another fight where you can go get a quick finish, or do you feel like you might have to be ready to go 3 rounds for a change?
E como última pergunta, você obviamente tem antecipado muito esse momento na tua vida, na tua carreira, especialmente agora, depois desses meses de estar lutando agora. Ou seja, que luta que você visualiza? O que você vê? Você vê como uma luta que pode ser uma finalização rápida, ou uma luta que você consegue ver 3 rounds?
O mais importante, eu vejo a minha vitória. Porém, se precisar lutar um round, eu vou lutar. E se precisar lutar os 3, eu vou lutar também. Eu vou dar tudo de mim lá dentro.
The most important thing is when I see a win. I understand that if I need to fight 1 round, I will just do 1 round. If I need to go 3 rounds, I will go 3 rounds, but I'm going to give my all in the octagon Saturday. Sachin.
It's back for another main event. I mean, is it like exciting, or is it just another day in the office for you?
This like another day in the office for me. But I'm excited a little for sure. I'm excited with the main event, with another great opportunity to show myself for the world. So everything good. I like it.
Nice. I know you don't make any excuses, but there was a lot going on around your last fight. I mean, did the distractions and everything that was happening play into the performance at all?
Sometimes it happens. For real, I don't want to make any excuse for sure. My opponent was good. My opponent was Aspinall is a really good fighter. How I feel in the fight. He'll have a big future. We will see how he will go. He will go in the future. But I thought he is good. It's no any excuse for this fight. For this fight, he just was better than me. I had a good shape with this fight. Everything was good. It was some mental maybe problem with all the things happen in the world. Some of this, but it's the things that happen in our sport, and I have to be ready for this. I wasn't, so that's why.
Fighting again quickly, though, was that important for you to want to fight again very soon?
For sure, it's important to me to win this fight. So, more important for me to be busy by UFC, doing my job, and really appreciated to UFC that give me this opportunity to be in the card, to be in the main event, to fight all over the world at this time. So. I like to be here. It's my job.
Your thoughts on Jairzinho as an opponent? Obviously dangerous, a lot of power. I mean, what do you think of him?
My opponent, he is pretty dangerous. He have, as you said, a lot of power in his hands. He is good stand-up fighter, fighter, yeah. But I had many same guys who have a lot of power in his hands and good stand up and everything. I believe I'm good in stand up too. So I will try to show my best in this fight, and I believe my technical skills were much better than him. Maybe I don't have some kind of power in my punch, but for sure I'm more technically, and for sure I have a lot of power in my kicks. For sure will be feeling much better in wrestling and grappling than him. So I'm feeling that will be a good fight for me, but we will see how it goes.
Is fighting in the smaller cage, is it tough for you to have a smaller space?
It doesn't matter. I can fight anywhere. I can fight on this table if you ask me. It doesn't matter for me.
Jairzinho, sometimes he's very patient and doesn't rush forward. So do you think this is a fight where maybe you should push the pace, or do you have to kind of be patient as well?
I have to do both. I have to be patient and have to push him, because he is really good going forward. But for me, will be okay. Don't give him this opportunity to go forward. So I have to get distance in the fight, but doing it with a pressure for him. So don't work like a second number in this fight. And try to work first, to take initiative, right? So it's okay. I will try. We'll see how it's happened. But for sure, he's pretty dangerous when he go forward and punch.
Last thing for me, two big heavyweights that can strike. I mean, do you think this is a fight that ends early, or do you think maybe this does last a little bit?
It's hard to
to predict, you know, because sometimes when two big strikers find like meet each other in octagon, sometimes the fight can be like a little bit boring because both of fighters are like a little bit scared or something. I believe or I want this fight finish early because it will be the easiest way to like finish this fight and win and go back to the Russia. So for sure I will try to find opportunity to knock him out, but we will see how it goes because he have a tough chin, like a tough head. For sure, a lot of people punch him to the head and it was nothing for him. But I will try not just punch, maybe kick too. So we will see.
Hey man, you mentioned Tom Aspinall. I'm curious. You have fought both him and Curtis Blades. Who do you see winning that fight?
Aspinall and Gunn or Blades?
Curtis Blades.
Blades. It's hard to predict because Blades he is like improves with his fights too. So he's became better stand-up too. I say it may be 60% for 40 for the Aspinall, I think.
Hey, Alexander, I just wanted to know who originally gave you your nickname Drago?
Originally, this name I take when I first time was in US. Here it will be 12 years ago, or maybe 11 years ago. And then I come, people here say that I look like exactly like Drago because in this time I don't have beard. I was a little bit younger and like it will be the same style. And from and the Alexander Volkov was a little bit difficult name for American people or something, and they just give it to me this name, and now I'm Drago since this time, so 10 years. It's just about I'm looking like him, so I don't know. Now I'm just more looking like Obi-Wan Kenobi or something.
This is true. This is true. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
What's happening?
What's going on? I know you were, very respectful after the last loss and the setback, but I guess were any lessons that you took out of that performance?
Yeah, I just need to be a little more active. The last couple years have been inconsistent, and I just want to get back in there every 3-4 months. That's always been my goal, and I'm finally like 100% healthy, and everything's going well in all my training camps. I made the most of an opportunity to fight somebody close to the top 15. Didn't go my way. That's life. Got to just rebound from it, and that's it. I'm back in here, trying to get a couple more by the end of the year, and that's it, man.
Well, I get staying active important. I mean, do you think, do you feel the benefits already? I mean, I know we'll see on Saturday, but do you already feel like, yes, this is what we're supposed to be doing?
Hell yeah, man. I love it. This is my passion. So I enjoy the process, and I want to make the most of it.
Matched up with a new name. I guess I can't imagine you were too familiar with him. What are your thoughts?
He's a tough dude. Everybody's tough. There's no easy fights. Not taking them for granted. I'm just going to go in there and execute my game plan that I put together with my coaches and get my hand raised.
I guess every fight's important, but does a result here feel important? Because you've had a couple setbacks, but you've been fighting tough competition as well.
Yeah, I want to win. That bottom line. However it happens, I want to finish. I'm sick and tired of these decisions, but you never know what's going to happen in there. But again, it comes down to who makes the least amount of mistakes, and I'm going to go in there and pick up the volume and do my thing.
On paper, it looks like it should be a pretty exciting fight. Is that kind of what you're anticipating as well?
Yeah, man, I want to fight the tough dudes. I don't want to sugarcoat my career. I want to fight tough guys, and I feel like every single guy I've fought has been tough. Nobody's had more than like 2 losses. So this is what I want to do. I want to test myself.
Nice. Last thing I want to ask you, kind of outside, the Ultimate Fighter, obviously it's on right now. I mean, have you been able to watch any of it? And I guess, what do you think about the Ultimate Fighter at this point? I mean, is it still a valuable tool to fighters kind of in your position?
I haven't watched it, but I think the Ultimate Fighter is a huge opportunity for guys to come in there, especially, the Contender Series is great too, but I don't think it's as mentally grueling as the Ultimate Fighter is. You're locked away for 6 weeks. You don't have any contact with anybody else. It's tough. Not saying the Contender Series is not tough either. It's tough. You got to perform on one night, Ultimate Fighter, you might get to redeem yourself depending on injuries here and there on the show, but, both of them are great ways to get your feet in the door, and I think they both should stay.
All right.
Boom, money.
Hi guys.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Got the first win. About 11 months ago, I guess. At this point, I guess, how important was that victory for you in that result?
Oh man, that victory was everything for me. And especially opponent was so tough. Ryan Benoit is one of toughest guy in our division. That victory was everything for me. That was my last fight in my contract. So if I was gonna lose that fight, I was gonna get cut, So I decided to put everything I have. I mean, I put everything I have in my all fights, but that one was like crazy, When I broke my hand in the first round, I was like, no, I just gotta keep going. That's it.
Now it's been, I guess 11 months though at this point. So I guess the time away, was it necessary, or were you hoping to fight sooner? And I guess what's been going on?
No, actually, I got scheduled in January 16 with Kletzen Rodriguez. My fight got canceled because of my injury. I got surgery right after my fight with Ryan Benoit. I thought my hand will be okay until January. So, yeah, because of that, I canceled the fight. So now I'm here and can't wait.
Has it been difficult to have to sit out, or did you understand it's just necessary to heal?
Yeah, when I started my camp early, I felt that like my hand is not ready, I couldn't punch, I couldn't spar, I couldn't wrestling live, I was like, then I decided to reschedule the fight, cancel the fight.
Now you're here, Ode as an opponent. What do you think about him as a fighter?
Ode is one of great striker in our division, great fighter, I mean, in UFC, all these guys are great. That's why they're in UFC. So Ode is one of the best in our division. So I'm gonna try my best to take my win Saturday night.
As you said last time, such a tough guy. I mean, it was a battle. Are you hoping to have that kind of fight again? Because it was memorable and it was entertaining. Or are you hoping maybe it's not quite that tough this time around?
I mean, they have different styles with Ryan, but he's tough too. I mean, when I got signed with UFC, I never fought with Mitz, Everyone was tough. Tyson Nam, Sumo Daerji, Ryan Benoit, now Ode Osborne. I was born for that, I was born to fight with the best, and I'm here. And I'm ready to fight.
So in your head, I mean, is this going to be a battle? Is it going to take 3 rounds, or do you think you can finish this early?
Yeah, I'm ready for 3 rounds, but anything can happen in the fight. So I'm ready to go for war with him.
And then you call out Zabit afterwards for a rematch?
Yeah, I called him already. When I go back to the gym, he's gonna come. We're gonna get some sparring in. Thank you.